Hi everybody, it's Stephanie here. It's Monday, June 5th. Yes, it is. And I was at work today and I noticed that when I left this morning, I forgot to remove my dinner from the freezer. So I decided to make some meatloaf this evening when I go home, but I forgot to take the meat out of the freezer. I'm gonna go home, remove the meat from the freezer, stick it in a sink of warm water. Like that, by the time I come home, most of it would have been defrosted. And yeah, I'm in a meatloaf kind of mode right now. I've eliminated a lot of carbohydrates from my diet because those foods were causing me to feel bloated, and that's not a good feeling to have. So anyways, before I continue, I have something I want to talk about, and this conversation in this video was inspired by my last video of that I did yesterday concerning the breakup with my ex. There were some key points and factor that I want to share with you guys, especially my trans friends and family that are subscribers on my channel. I just think that if I share these things, they could be key takeaways and something that you can watch out for if someone comes out of the blue and is showing interest in you. So with that being said, I want to say thank you to all of my subscribers and to those just visiting my channel for the first time. If you guys find something that resonates with you or maybe your friends, please be sure to share and subscribe. Don't forget to give me a thumbs up. We'll be right back with more. On my last video, I was explaining to everybody that when I moved to the community where I am now, I didn't go there looking for a relationship. But I just happened to meet Leslie, and she already had been living there some 3 or 4 months already. And yeah, so it was a chance meeting. Like I said in my last video, most chance meetings work out very well, but it all depends on who the people are that are involved. What I want to say in this video is, sometimes when you're a trans person and you're going through life, a large chunk of our lives are lived alone. There have been numerous cases where a trans person, before transitioning, was in a loving, committed relationship with their spouse. It is very rare that the spouses who have been informed of our intentions to transition to the other opposite gender is bewildered and shocked, and it's not something that they signed up for. It's not something that they signed up for. And the majority of spouses do not want to stay in that relationship anymore because they feel they were duped or they were blindsided. Those are the kind of people or spouses that would not date us. Okay? They would not date us. Okay? Because if it's a woman that was your wife in your relationship, and now you're just telling her that you've been feeling like a woman all your life, but you've suppressed it, it's going to be a shock to them. They agreed to be with you in a loving relationship because in their minds, their future, they saw children involved. I cannot have any children, okay? Because of my process and transition and my surgeries, I can no longer have any children, okay? So when they chose you to be their husbands or wives was also because the fact that you can bear children or produce children with them, okay? And that was a part of this marriage, besides everything else that I'm not even going to cover. So, what I'm trying to say is, most marriages that are coming untangled because of one of the spouses is going to transition to another gender, the majority of the spouses will not stay. They would either file for divorce and then go on to meet someone else. There has been cases where the spouse is probably thinking to her or himself that, hey, I already have children in my life. We've produced the children. We've had a successful marriage. And I still love this person because through the transition, I'm still seeing a lot of her or him. So to them, they want to stay in it because to them, you're still you. Does that mean that they're going to call you by your chosen name that you've chosen to become this other gender? I don't know. I was never in that position. The other thing I want to say is, for most of us, we live our lives without a secure relationship. Okay? The relationship that you may get into may have lots of questions. Okay? Leslie said to me that now she has to question her sexuality because all her life she thought she was gay. That's because she's seeing some aspects of me still being male, even though she dated and slept with men. Is she seeing me as a third gender maybe? I don't know. Possibility. Okay? The other thing I want to say is, when you're in a relationship with someone who has 1 foot in and 1 foot out, you're going to go through some issues with them, either her or him, depending on your chosen gender. And they may not be pretty things, okay? If you're sensing that your new partner is doing things that are clashing with you in who you are, and it seems like you're not going to get it straightened out, my best answer is I would back off that relationship and leave, because you're always going to have issues throughout your relationship with this person. I'm at my home now. I'm going to go in, take out the hamburgers out of the freezer, and I'll be right back. So anyways, if you're in a relationship, a new relationship, and this person found you attractive, and they don't know that you've gone through changes, everything will work fine and dandy. But sooner or later, thoughts of coming out to them will start to happen in your mind. And I don't recommend going past 2 or 3 weeks, 3 weeks tops, or maybe by the third meeting. Because the longer you wait, the more difficult it is. Because in the process of getting to know them, the relationship is getting deeper and deeper, and you're being more and more intimate with them. So when you tell them, there's going to be a shock factor there. If you're a trans woman and you're going to date a man, it's going to be that much more difficult for him. And the chances are of him accepting you as a surgical woman is minuscule. Especially if they don't have any children, or if they've been single for a while and they want to start a family. They need to know, and you need to tell them. So what if you meet someone, or somebody meets you when you're not expecting it, and then you tell them, they're in shock, but they say that you can work that you can work this out, that you can smooth it over and learn about one another. What happened to me with Leslie was, that's what she said to me, is I revealed to her that I was born a boy. She said we can work it out. She said we can work around this, and she would have to get used to it. That was my green light. I was happy, I was elated, because nobody that I've dated over the years had said that. I mean, I've dated women who had no problem whatsoever with it. And the reason why it didn't work out was because of other reasons other than the fact that I'm a trans person. Okay? Like, for example, my ex-girlfriend Kristen. When I told her at first, she was taken back. But after talking to her for a little while, maybe about a day or two, she decided to resume our relationship. And then she never brought it up. She accepted me 110%. She never discussed my process. She never asked me any questions. We had a perfect, loving relationship, even though it lasted 2 months. It was great. She wasn't putting me in the back burner. She wasn't questioning me every single week, okay, regarding her feeling towards it or whatever. We just had a relationship. The reason why we didn't work out was she was moving too fast for me and I wasn't comfortable. She had this time frame where I had to be living with her and move with her to California. I had responsibilities then that I couldn't do that. If I hadn't have responsibilities, I would have done it. And we would have been happy. But I couldn't do it. She took me by surprise when she gave me these timelines. With Leslie, this woman always had questions. And then she told me, if I ever have questions, we have to talk about it. I said, sure. That wasn't the reason why we didn't work out. The reason we didn't work out was her obvious disrespect. And she was very candid with me, telling me that she's not a nice person, that she's mean. I don't want to be with people who are not nice, who are mean. Okay? She told me that her last ex that she was with hit her. I disapprove of any physical violence in relationships. I don't care if it has to do with trans reasons or cisgender relationships. Relationships are relationships to me. No labels. I don't believe in physical violence. I don't believe in sexual violence. I don't. Whoever she dated had no right to lay a hand on her. However, I'm thinking of how she was with them. She never told me how she was with them. Okay? Now I'm starting to see some reasons why the person that hit her, that she was dating, might have done that. That was her solution, which was wrong. The other thing I want to say is, just because we're trans people and we go on these years and years or months of not dating people because it's difficult to find the right person to date. So we could go years on end without meeting the right person. I'm having some grapes. Yeah, just because we go a long time without dating doesn't mean we have to accept someone when they're treating us mean. They're treating us with disrespect. Leslie told me that she thought I was naive. I don't think I'm naive. I can see through their hypocrisy and their facades. Okay? I'm not blind. However, sometimes when somebody comes out and they're showing that they're interested, all right, they catch you off guard. They catch us when we're very vulnerable to being hurt. Okay? And because we're so vulnerable, we can be taken advantage of. I don't want to be taken advantage of. I've been taken advantage of before in my life, and I don't want that to ever happen again. I don't think Leslie was taking advantage of me. However, she was being disrespectful. When she found out what my birth name was, she used that as a control mechanism to bully me around and push me around when I asked her not to. That would have been enough cause for me to stop seeing her. Instead, I brushed it under the rug, and then she quit doing it. But then she came up with another question which made me feel insulted. Okay? And you guys know what that is by my last video. So, to close this video off, I want to say, when you meet someone, take it slow. Take it slower than slow. Get to know them. Okay? And by the third day or even the third week tops, sit down with them in a public area like a restaurant and tell them. They may get up and walk away. They may stay there scratching their ass because they can't understand. But if somebody is showing interest in you, they may not know the changes you've been through. Okay? And you don't know the position that they're in. they could be in a position where they're looking for a relationship which is long-term, loving, and it may be that in their new relationship that they're hoping to have with you, they may want to have children. Okay? Because of these things, you need to tell them. Okay? And it's good for you to know whether this relationship will work out for you. Okay? So, I hope that this short video goes to helping you with your personal development, because I tell you, I've been transitioned over 22 years, and I've experienced anything and everything out there. Okay? Last night, I was on eHarmony trying to log on, and I did that, and I said to myself, you know what? I'm not going to try any dating sites, because if I'm meant to be in a relationship with someone, it'll happen. If not, then it's not going to happen. And what the hell? I've dated plenty in my life. I was married twice. I have one son. If it happens, it does. If it doesn't, it doesn't. But it's not to say that I'm going to keep away from meeting new people. I hope you guys have a nice day today, and I'll be seeing you guys on my next video.